My great-grandpa was a cowboy, and my grandpa was a cowboy, and my daddy was a cowboy. So I guess I just was born one. And now I'm going to be a TV cowboy. Look, we're all going to be on TV. So, when I was your age, there was TV cowboys on every channel. Roy Rogers and Dean Autry, and sometimes they'd sing. We all know it's all in fun. He never shot no one. He's just a TV cowboy. Wears a little piece of hair on his head for his bear. Well, heck, he's slick from here to there. He's just a TV cowboy. It's makeup in them skin-tight jeans. Then what makes him look so mean? We see him on a little screen. He's just a TV cowboy. Always wears a padded shirt and girdle with his winter. Well, heck, he's just a little squirt. He's just a TV cowboy. 4-inch lips and fake mustache, and his breath that smells like day old hash. But man, he's really got the cash. He's just a TV cowboy. Yodeling, yodeling, yodeling. My mustache is real, but my teeth are not. See, these are fake teeth. Well, I mean, it's a bridge. See, they're stuck in there. Horse kicked my other teeth out. He kicked me right in the mouth. Whap! And I used to be afraid to get kicked in the face because I thought if a horse kicked you right in the face, it would kill you. But he didn't. He didn't even knock me down. Just knocked my teeth out. So I broke my cheekbone and cracked my palate loose. This tooth was in the middle of my face. I went to the doctor and they x-rayed me and I said, "Doctor, what's your plan?" He said, "Oh, nothing's broken. We're going to keep you here for observation and send you home." I said, "I'm going to get out of here." So I got out of the hospital and went to a specialist and they operated on me and got me halfway straightened up. Then another time a horse kicked me in the face and knocked my nose over here. And I went to the doctor and he went, straightened it up and said, "Okay, for $500, I'll set your nose. Or you can go home and get in front of the mirror and straighten it up for free." So that's why my nose is kind of cool. Yep, see?
You went on that thing?
Yeah, I did. I tried to do the best I could. So I want to tell you about my rodeo days, my bull riding days. Y'all got to go? Hey, okay. See you later.
Okay, Cowboy.
Hey, I want to tell you about my bull riding days. Y'all know where Silsbee is?
Yes.
I went to a rodeo at Silsbee, and I'm going to tell you about that in a minute, though. That was where we got in the fist fight. But first, I want to tell you about the bull riding at Mauriceville. You know where that is? Mauriceville. It's right down the road near from. Anyway, it's not too far from Silsbee. You know, kind of far, kind of not too far. Anyway, so I wrote a rap song about this bull riding. Yeah, see, just play with spoon. Me and old Kahla and a buddy named Bub headed to the rodeo to test our luck. Who can dance? We need a dance. Okay, so we all go up and dance. I think nobody will dance. It's just going to be a straight beat like that. Me and old Kahla and the buddy named Bub to test our luck. Riding bad fool. Charlie Cross. Gives me a shot. Well, I get the rope right around. With a grin. Down my back. Hold tight. Take a suicide rap. Get ready for the fight. Release the beat. she's ready to ride. This horns and humps and hooves and hides. First jumps out. Second, she's clean into his skin. Throws me up and goes round and round. Where's my head? Well, he stomps me in the ground, leaves me for dead. Then he runs a clown. Well, I thrashed him. Smashed up hat and a bloody shirt. Staggered to my feet to start. Can I have a reride? They said, no more for you, but you ain't to be back. We figured you'd do some sort of pay, some compensation. And throw in the crowd, you sure done great. When I find Lucky, pale and white, it's like we need a ghost tonight. He said that bull and just smashed your head. Sorry I left, just figured you was dead. Sorry I left, just figured you was dead.
Sorry, left, just figured you was dead.
Sorry I left, just figured you was dead. Now that we're talking about rodeos, because it's a rodeo going on, I want to tell you about a rodeo back in Belton on the 4th of July. Well, see, I went to Belton on the 4th of July, and I drew the bucking horse of the year at the bareback ride. This was a great big old dun horse. He wore a gold-plated halter. It meant he was the meanest horse in the world. Well, I got on that horse, and he threw me off so hard the first jump that the gate man said, "Get up, boy, and let us shut the gate." I was laying in the chute. So I got up and I went behind the chutes and like to cry. It almost broke my neck. It was rodeo Christmas, the 4th of July, when Bobby called me and he said with a sigh, "We're short of bronc riders to Belton again. If you'll just enter, I know that you'll win. And also the bareback. We need quite a few. There's not many entered, I think maybe 2. Your fees I will pay and a steak I will buy. If you will just work Belton, the 4th of July." "Well, Belton it is then," I said with a grin, "if you'll throw in a room at the Holiday Inn." He said, "That's too steep, but I'm sure in a fix. I'll get you a room down at old Motel 6. Well, I told him I'd be there. It'd sure be a breeze to not have to work stock to pay up my fees. I hung up the phone without saying goodbye. Now I'd be at Belton the 4th of July. Well, I pulled down my hat and I hit for the door, grabbing my saddle and bag from the floor. 300 miles wasn't much of a drive. If I held it to 90, I could make it by 5. I jumped in my heat. The battery was numb. Out on the highway, riding my thumb. If I could just flag down some cars passing by, then I could make Belton the 4th of July. Well, I limped into town, got a room with a view, and down to the arena to see what I drew. There on the pin fence, hung on a nail, was the draw of the day. My skin had turned pale. My eyes was above and my blood pressure dropped. At the sight of that number, my heart nearly stopped. "Oh no, I'm due." I moaned a low cry. Should have worked papers for the next July. Well, old Widowmaker was number 13. As bad as a grizzly, as big as me, and he run in the chute and he kicked and he roared. At the top of his back was above the top board. The bronc in the chute that filled me with fear was voted by Cowboys the bronc of the year, and I had to ride him. At least I would try, right there at Belton the 4th of July. Well, let out my rigging as far as it would, and I staged it down on him the best that I could. Took a deep seat upon his broad back. Called for the gate with my feet in the cracks. I marked him out good way up in the neck, and that's when I'll tell you all things went to heck. We was heading for up in the sky, right there in Belton the 4th of July. He leaped from the chute, left like a jet, tore out my handhold, but he wasn't through yet. Jumped in the air and he kicked out behind. I landed head first, and I thought I'd gone blind. I lay there in darkness and pondered my fate. I heard someone holler, "We can't shut the gate." Crumpled and blinded in the gate I did lie at dusty old Belton the 4th of July. If some of you boys will give me a hand, we'll pull this poor cowboy's head from the sand. Well, they pulled at my arms and they tugged at my shirt, and I could see light as my head left the dirt. Well, I sold off my rigging and I sold out my tack, and I cut a trail and I never looked back. Now, I may go blind as time passes by, but it won't be at Belton the 4th of July. McFadden's ranch. And he'd grown up from a young man. He'd went to work on big ranches, and he'd been a cowboy all his life. He could do it all. He could rope and ride, and he was a top hand. And he was a black cowboy, and he lived down at on the McFadden's ranch at that time. And I was breaking horses down there, and he told me some real great stories. He told me about when he first went to work on that ranch. He said the big smoke. Kenneth Day told him, he said, "You will have to learn to get along with me and my horses." But he found out what he meant the first day. That horse couldn't buck him off, so he just reached around and bit him on the leg. Had to take his whip handle and make him turn loose. Had to ride that front all day. He said boys would come out of town like Beaumont or Fort Arthur and want to be cowboys. Young fellas, thinking cowboy life sounded like fun. And bad bucking horses and the mosquitoes and alligators would send them packing. And they'd head back to whatever other job they could get. And job's hard to come by. So it inspired a poem about gather around boys, my tale of woe, and I'll tell you about my trouble from the old mash stove. Tell you about the horse that changed my ways and really put an end to my wrangling days. Down in the marsh where the bayou flows, mosquitoes and the gators in the salt grass grove. Was a line back done, stood 16 hands, and there on his hip was a mash stove brand. Cold as a cottonmouth, lean as a wolf, meanest old critter ever walked on the floor. Hide full of ugly, and chuck full of mean was the rankest old bronc that I ever had seen. Well, the boss stepped up and he said to me, "On this outfit there ain't nothing for you. You eat my chuck and you draw my pay. You'll ride old Dunny till the end of the day." All of a sudden I yearned for the sound of the streets of the city and the lights of the town. Hitting them high down the trail I go. I'm a-getting me gone from the old mash stove. Well, I sweep the pool off my bed now. There's no more chasing of the zebra cow. Of a cowboy's life, I won't no more. Rather clean the john and sweep the floor. I have no need for boots or hat or chaps or spurs or none of that. I want no part no more, I know, of the broncs and the brimmers on the old mash stove. Thank you.